Happy New Year. It's the 1st of January, 2025. 2025 is going to be the best year of my life, and I'm manifesting that right now. But what I want you who are listening right now to manifest also 2025 to be the best year of your life. And I thought, what better way to kick off the year, the first day of 2025, than to manifest your dream life and how to manifest your dream life this 2025. I really wanted this special guest that's coming on today to speak with me on manifesting and all about mindset and how to, get your goals and achieve your dreams, because I genuinely do believe that you can have anything you want in this life. And this amazing woman, Florencia Andres, thank you so much for joining me today.
It's
Yes.
my pleasure. Thank you for having me, Chiara.
Florencia is a mindset coach. And actually, the reason I found out about Florencia is because I actually joined, well, my mom recommended me her course on this app called Mind Valley, which is all about mindset and championing your mindset. And the course is called Champion Mindset. And if you haven't listened to it and you haven't done the course, please do it. It's on Mind Valley. It's literally changed my life. I did a lot of things on that course, which I still, implement those skills today. And I did that course in September this year. Yeah, it basically just really helped. And when Universal asked me, who do you want to have on your podcast for the New Year episode, I was like, there is one person I want, and I'm going to reach out to her and I'm going to try my like she probably won't reply to me, but I'm just going to try, because if you don't try, you don't know. And Florencia, you replied. Thank you so much for taking the time today to come on here and help everyone listening right now how to manifest their dream life, because you helped me. And I hope together we can help everyone listening how to get their dreams and goals, because that's all I want in this world.
Absolutely. And thank you for having me in what is my favorite day of the year. Absolutely.
Yes.
Today is my favorite day. I am a big fan of new beginnings. It's like when you crack open a new notebook and you're all excited
Yes.
to start writing. Well, today is the day to start writing those initial pages of your 2025 book. So I'm delighted to be here with you.
If you love me, let me fly away. Maybe I'll come back to you. Maybe I won't. And if you could tell everyone a little bit about yourself and how you got to where you are, just for the people who don't know who you are.
Sure. My name is Florencia Andres. I'm an international best-selling author. I wrote 5 books. I'm also a keynote speaker, and I give a lot of courses. And what I love to do is to share what has worked for me and for thousands of people, because I've had the blessing of already training thousands, if not more, hundreds of thousands of people across the globe on how to manifest their dreams and how to truly plan out a vision that they can execute, that they can act upon, so that 1 year from today, and I think 1 year is a great timeline, you can look back and say, I feel so proud of what I've done. I had no idea I could achieve so many things, and now they're real. So yeah, that's what.
And one thing that, just before we get into it, so we're going to do, 5 steps on how to achieve your dream life. But just before we start, I remember you mentioning in the mindset course, the champion mindset, how we really limit ourselves with our dreams as well. Like we think, oh, I'm going to dream, I don't know, I want to make £100,000 this year or $100,000 this year. And I remember you saying, add a zero, add just add an extra zero. Or if you want to be a famous actress, just add even more to that dream, because you're right. Especially me, like I really limited my dreams, and I feel like I was thinking there's like a ceiling to your dreams, but actually the sky is the limit.
Absolutely. And you're not alone in limiting your dreams, Chiara. It has been proven time and again that most people don't dream big enough. And the reason and the tricky part is that maybe we think we're dreaming big enough because we have goals, we have dreams, we have aspirations, but they could be so much bigger. It takes the same
Yeah.
amount of effort to dream a big dream than a regular dream. So go for the big one. Go for the big
Mm-hmm.
one. You truly have to dream so big that people think you're crazy, because
That's
those
the
kind of
thing.
big dreams are the ones that truly move you forward, that truly ignite a
Yeah.
fire in you. And so, yeah, go big.
Yeah, go big or go home. If you're listening to this right now and you're like, I really want that job. And it's like, why don't you own that business instead? Instead of getting a promotion, why don't you go ahead and create your own business, which is something we'll speak about in a bit. But I guess let's dive right into the 5 steps to manifest your dream life in 2025. And I'm so excited if you're listening to this right now. I really hope that these steps will change your life. And so, yeah, I guess step one, me
Let's
and
go for it.
Florencia, yeah, we've already spoken about what we want to talk about.
Yes,
I'll let you take the lead.
I like breaking it down into steps, and I loved your idea of let's make it steps, because I
Yeah.
love simplicity. I think
Mm-hmm.
complexity is the enemy of execution. The moment we start overcomplicating things, we know we're never going to do them. So let's keep
Yeah.
it simple and powerful. And so step number one, it has a lot to do with what you asked about the big dreams. So we're saying we have to go for big dreams. Yeah, but step one is get clear on what you actually want. And the thing is that most people, they don't really spend time sitting down and thinking, what do I really want to manifest this year? Maybe they have a
Mm-hmm.
like a general feeling or idea or desire, like I want to be happy this year, or I don't want to be broke this year. But
Mm-hmm.
you people actually take the time to sit down and spend one entire day. That's what I propose you do in the beginning of the year. Take one entire day and think about these 7 areas of life and write down one goal for each area of your life. Just one goal.
Okay.
So go and think, career or business. What's your one goal there? Relationships. What's your one goal there? Finances, health and fitness, free
Mm-hmm.
time, contribution. There's areas of life. So just spend some time doing that, because the problem is if we don't do that consciously, if we don't take the time to design the future, you know what happens, Chiara? We go back to our past. We tend
Yeah.
to fall back into old behaviors and old ways of thinking. Has it ever
Yeah.
happened to you? It certainly has happened to me, to start
Yeah.
a new year full of energy, and you're like, this is the year that I'm gonna get fit and healthy and
Yeah.
wealthy and and wise. And
Like
then
everything's gonna change.
right. And then what happens? A few weeks into the year, you're like, well, today I don't feel like going to the gym, and today I don't feel like working on my business. And when, a few weeks have gone by and you're back to your old ways, and you can
Mm,
prevent that from happening by choosing to consciously design your year. So that's definitely step number one. Do you agree?
yeah, I agree. And I also think something really important is being really specific as well with your dreams and not being super vague. Like, I think what I did, which is really nice, is a dream board, for example, is really good. Like cutting out pictures of things. And funnily enough, I have done that dream board before and I cut out pictures of things from magazines. And those exact things, like 3 years later, 2 years later, ended up happening. So, another thing I will say, be careful what you wish for. So, really be specific because sometimes you can wish for things and they actually do come true. So, really being clear and intentional about what it is that you want and almost describe it into like ultimate depth and get really into it and feel as if the things when you're writing them down or you're making that list or you're writing yourself a letter of everything that you want this year or however way you want to do it, be super specific and really feel into it and really feel as if these things are already happening, as if they're already here, as if they're already something that's happened. Like you're speaking as if it's already happened.
Absolutely. And what you're saying about being specific is,
Mm,
if we can break it down, it links to step two. So if step one is defining what you want, really taking the time to know what you want in each area of your life, step two would be to turn that dream or those dreams into plans, into actual plans,
mhm.
because maybe
Yeah.
there's a lot of people who will know what they want and even maybe visualize it, but then Monday morning comes and they're like, what do I do now? Where do I
Yeah.
start? And then you might feel super overwhelmed. And then there's this, one of my favorite quotes is by, in the book, The Little Prince, that says, a goal without a plan is a wish. And there's nothing wrong with wishing, but if you
Yeah.
want to really stop wishing and start living the life you want this year, you really need to turn those dreams into plans. And it's a very simple process. The way I do it, at least, is I ask myself, okay, so what needs to happen for me to go from point A being where I am today, to take me to point B, where I want to be by the end of this year? What needs to happen?
Hmm.
And then all those things that need to happen, I chunk them down into monthly goals. Okay, so my January goals are this, and my February goals are this, based on my plan, on my vision. And then those monthly
Hmm.
goals, I chunk them down again into weekly goals. And then it's easy to know what to do when you have a weekly goal.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're thinking about this overwhelming big dream, and you're like,
Hmm.
yeah, but where do I even start? And
Hmm.
so chunk it down and turn it into a plan, because and what you were saying about having visual reminders, I love having my visual plans in places where I can see them all the time. So whereas if you spend a lot of time, I don't know, in your workspace, that's where you want them, or in your bedroom, or in your living room,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter, as long as you're constantly visually reminded of those
Hmm.
plans that you have for this year.
Yeah. And I think it helps with motivation as well. But I also do agree with you, if you have such big dreams, it can sometimes be very overwhelming waking up in the morning because you are like, oh my goodness, I have all of these things that I need to accomplish today. And that's something that I've kind of struggled with recently. It's like I have all these dreams and plans and I want to go to the gym and then I also want to have self-care, but I also want to see my friends and I also want to have social life and I also want to post 5 TikToks a day and like focus on my other focus on my family. And sometimes when you put it all together, it can be very overwhelming, making it kind of difficult for me to wake up in the morning because I wake up and I'm like, shit, I have all these responsibilities today. And it almost makes you not want to do it because you're like, there's just too much to do. And I think what you said is so good about, obviously having that dream, putting it into action. Because as you said, yes, sometimes a lot of us be dreamers, but then we're still sitting on our couch every day and wondering, why is my dream not happening? Like, for example, if a goal is, I want to meet my, have a relationship, a long-term relationship with a boyfriend, because a lot of everyone listening right now, we're all heartbroken queens here. We sometimes some of us have been heartbroken, and maybe we want to transition into actually I want to be in a healthy, loving relationship. Well, actually, you've got to take the steps, those little steps, and firstly loving yourself, doing all the things that make you happy and make you love yourself, but also going out of the house and going on dates and actually taking action, because you're not going to meet anyone if you just sit at home and don't go out. So
Exactly.
it's putting those dreams into action, and sometimes action can be uncomfortable, like going on dates can be uncomfortable, it can be
Absolutely.
scary, it can be you're putting yourself out of your comfort zone, but growth happens when you're in that zone of discomfort. Same with the
Absolutely.
gym.
It's the same with anything that you want to change or improve in your life. When you go for
Yes.
it, you will feel uncomfortable. You will feel nervous. You will feel even triggered at times. And that's where you need to master your emotions and say, okay, this is how I feel, and I can still act even if I'm feeling scared. I can still go on a date, even if I'm feeling nervous. I can still go and take that job interview, even if I'm not feeling, completely confident. I can start a
Mm-hmm.
business, even if I have no idea what I'm doing right now. So you
Yeah.
learn how to separate your emotions from your actions, and you can control your actions. Your emotions, they are a little, they're a little wilder, but you can always
Yeah.
stay consistent. And the thing is, truly the deeper thing that sometimes will hold you back from taking action. Because let's say you went through step one, you defined your dream, and then you turned it into a plan in our step two, and you have your very detailed plan. But then you don't know what happens, that you just do not move forward. And that's where step 3 comes in. And step 3 has to do with truly working on yourself and on your mindset so that you upgrade your mindset and your identity and you start believing in yourself. And so your mindset and your identity need to match your new goals. And that's where the
Yes.
deep work comes. Sometimes we're just focused on, finding the perfect person for me, finding the perfect partner, or finding the perfect job, or getting the perfect body. And we forget about the real work that needs to happen. That is that we need to believe in ourselves in order to do that. And
Mm-hmm.
so I live by Henry Ford's quote, whether you think you can do it or you don't. You're right. You're always right. If you think you can do it, you're right. If you don't think you can do it, you're also right. And
Mm-hmm.
what if there's someone listening right now and they're thinking, well, that's me. I know what I want to do. I have all these plans, but then I have this little voice inside me that says, who do you think you are? Who do you think you're fooling? You're never going to do this, and this little voices that come from, oof, good now, it could come
Yeah,
from
God knows.
childhood or
Mom, dad.
trauma or bad
Yeah.
experiences, you know, and that's where you truly need to start building inside your subconscious mind your new identity. And so
Mm-hmm.
instead of waiting until you feel confident and ready and empowered and then you take action, no, it's the other way around. You start working on your subconscious mind. And there's an exercise I love to do that is called meeting your future self. I do this exercise every single day of my life. So it only takes 60
Wow.
seconds.
You
That's
do it
why I do
every
it every
single
day.
day.
Yeah.
Because like you
Um,
you spoke about this in the champion mindset
and I truly do
course.
it because, there's days when I'm sure the same happens to you when your schedule is super full and you're like, I have no time for a half-hour
Mm-hmm.
meditation. I have no time for journaling today. But you always have 1 minute, 60
Yeah.
seconds, at most 90 seconds. And what I love to do in those 60 seconds is I close my eyes, because I usually do it before I leave my bed in the morning. And I simply see myself. As you said before, I see myself doing that thing as if it already happened. And because I have already written down in our previous tab, I wrote down what I want for each area of my life. It truly is easy to have this thing because it's like seeing photos, right? Like you see yourself and the level of fitness you want. And there's a photo for that or a movie for that. And you see yourself with your, I don't know, your new business launched, and you see yourself in a truly wonderful, loving relationship. And so you do that bombardment of images for 60 seconds. And what you're doing just by doing that, you're rewiring your subconscious mind to match
Mm-hmm.
new goals. And what happens
Yes.
when you do that is your subconscious mind will find every single possible way to take you to your destination faster and easier. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I love to do there.
Yeah, and I think there's also this concept that is, oh, but it's going to take so long, but it's going to take, 2 years to get my goals. But if you think like that, yeah, it will take 2, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. But actually, you can manifest as quickly as you want. If you are vibrating at the frequency that is where your goals are at, everything will happen so much quicker. Like I remember writing a letter from my future self, which was in your champion mindset course. And even after 2 days, one of those things happened. And it
Yeah.
was like, I couldn't believe it. I could not believe how that happened. So it's just really believing it. And also, if I do believe a lot of it has to do with self-worth, believing in yourself is really another term for self-worth. And I
Yeah.
feel I know it's difficult, living, especially young girls living in an age of social media where you're constantly comparing yourself to other girls who have those nice handbags, or they're going on boats, or they're going on whatever, living like this perfect life, which trust me is not as perfect as you think. It's a highlight reel. Maybe that is amazing, but there are other aspects in life. But it's with that in mind, it's more important now than ever before. And this is why I wanted to do this. And as because I'm 25 and I have girls my age and younger who look up to me. And it's like, I want them and I want you to be able to look in the mirror and be like, I believe in myself and I love myself. And it makes me sad that sometimes even myself, like I don't believe in myself enough. And it's like, why? Like you've got so much going for you. And even when I speak to my friends, they're like, you've got so much going for you. So try this other technique, which I would recommend for self-worth, is looking in the mirror. And it can be really uncomfortable sometimes. Like when I first started doing it, I was like saying to myself, you are beautiful. You are amazing, Chiara. You are so talented. You are so inspiring. And at first, it was so hard for me to hear that because I didn't believe it. But the
Of
more
course.
you really push yourself to constantly wake up every day in the morning, even if it's not every day, you don't have to be so hard on yourself, but even if it's just once a week, you look at yourself in the mirror and you say, I love my body just the way it is. I don't need to be this super skinny supermodel to be happy. If I'm happy with myself now, I will be more motivated even more to get my goals, because the best way you can achieve your dreams is by being happy while you're doing it. It's the journey even to enjoy before the destination, because we all know once you get to that destination, sometimes it's a little bit underwhelming and you're like, oh,
Absolutely.
I did it.
Yeah, the moment you get there, you're like, okay, next goal, right? Let's go to the
Yeah.
next one. You don't even
Yeah.
realize, as you said, the purpose here and the real joy, I think, of this whole thing is not so much achieving things, but the
Yes.
person you become in the process of achieving them. And the person
Absolutely.
you become has to do with, as you've said, first of all, removing the distractions or lowering the noise from the outside that tells you, as you say, on social media, you go on social media and you see everyone has got everything figured out.
Yes.
Everyone's house looks prettier than yours and your girls look
Yes.
better put together and they have this perfect relationship with a boyfriend or their husband. And you're like sitting there and being, why am I so slow? Why am I taking so
Mm,
long? What's wrong
yeah,
with me? And what you said about the words that you say to yourself, words create realities. This is not
they do.
BS, self-help, woo-woo stuff. Words create realities. And if we think that out of the 50,000 thoughts we have per day, 80% of those tend to be negative and about ourselves. Just think about that for a moment. It's like we go with an inner critic
Mm,
everywhere, and we all
mm,
hear about this. We all know you have to be positive, you have to be nice, but we don't do it. We don't
mhm,
practice it. It's as if,
mhm,
who cares? Nobody can hear what I say to myself. So I'm just going to trash myself every day and then hope that I'm getting better. Well, it doesn't
mhm.
work that way. But the magic here is that the moment you start saying intentional words to yourself, and the moment you also tie that with working on your subconscious mind, and you also start taking action, and you also remember that you don't need to be confident to get started. Many
Mm,
times, confidence, I like to describe self-confidence as a muscle, and it's a muscle that you train. How do you
yeah,
train the muscle of confidence? Well, you go and do things that are hard. You go and
yeah,
embrace challenges, and you show yourself, hey, that thing that was super scary, I went and did it anyway. I was super scared. I did it anyway. And now I have another proof for my self-confidence bucket. It's getting fuller.
yeah.
And so
Mm-hmm.
that's the way you go about.
Yeah, 100%. We're just going to take a pause there and we'll be back after this break. What is step 4?
Oh, you're paying attention. I was
Yeah,
like, what's
yeah.
fine? So we have step 1 was define your dream. Step 2 was turn the dream into
Yes.
a plan. Step 3, what was step 3, Chiara? Let's see if you're paying. It's believing in yourself.
Step 3 is believing in yourself.
Step
It
4 is
was.
taking consistent action. And I want to underline the word consistent because, we all start
Yeah,
super
consistency
motivated,
is key.
right? And the thing is that many times we rely on motivation to take consistent action. And so we start the year off super motivated. When motivation is gone, we're like, okay, well, what do I do now, right? What
Back
do I
in the
do now?
old ways, basically.
Back to the old ways. There's not a
Yeah.
single day that goes by without someone writing a message to me on social media saying, I'm lacking motivation. And I'm like, no, you're
Mm.
not. You don't understand motivation. You see, we envision, I think, motivation as this, I don't know, this fairy godmother that will knock on our door on Monday morning, because that's when we need her. And
Yeah.
she'll be like, oh, Chiara, you said you were going to work out today, right? But you're not motivated. Well, let me take you to the gym.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't work that way. I mean, I wish we had a motivational
No.
fairy, but she does not exist. And if she did exist, she would be very tricky because she never comes when you most need her. So
Yes.
the key to take consistent action is to stop waiting to feel motivation and to start creating that motivation.
Hmm.
Now, how do you do that? How do you create motivation instead of sit and patiently wait?
Hmm.
My favorite way is by making commitments. And so there's a huge difference between being interested in stuff, and you can be interested. I mean, I'm interested in so many things, and it's fine. You can have 1,000 interests. I'm interested in AI and business and horses and healthy food and Harry Styles, love life. I mean, anything. And that's okay. The problem is that with interest, they rely on motivation. And so today I'm interested in, let's say, healthy cooking. And so I spent hours Googling and reading about it. And I talked to my friends about it. And in a few weeks, motivation is gone and that interest goes out of the window. I pick a new one.
Mm.
And that's how I never get anything done. I'm like constantly
Yeah.
switching from new interest to new interest to new interest. And so the way that I have found to stay consistent with my actions is to make a commitment. And so, what I would invite everyone listening today is to pick one thing you want to commit to in 2025. Not
Hmm.
5, not 10, not 20. Start with one.
Yeah.
And remember that a commitment is a promise that you make to yourself. And so, choose those wisely. As you said before, be careful with what you wish for. I would
Hmm.
add, be careful and be very wise with your commitments because they are promises that you make to yourself. And
And
stick to
you
that.
you want to be loyal to yourself as well. You don't want to break your own promises because you're disregarding yourself by breaking that promise. I mean, I remember just going back to the mindset course, I remember you saying, make a commitment to finish this course. If you're going to do anything else, just make this commitment to finish this course. And I promised myself, I was like, Chiara, you are going to finish this course. How many things do? We start and don't finish. Most things we start and we don't finish. But yeah, if this, again, as Florencia said, find something, think of something right now. If that is, I, promise myself I will exercise 3 times a week. Doesn't have to be every day. This is the thing. If you make such a big commitment to yourself that's too difficult to commit to, that can be easier to break. But if you make a digestible commitment to yourself and you stick to that for the year of 2025, whether that's I commit to eating pescatarian, maybe not vegetarian, maybe pescatarian, but you're still cutting out the meat, you're still cutting out all of that. It's just be kind to yourself as well with that commitment. Don't be like, I commit to working out every single day for the rest of this year, because that's just not, you also want to
Pick
enjoy the
something,
process.
pick something you truly want to achieve. Ask yourself, is this going to be good for me? Is this going to be good for the people that are around me? Am
Yeah.
I going to feel proud by the end of the year? And make it doable. So, yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about commitments is that they have so much power
Yes.
because whereas interests rely on motivation and motivation is fleeting, it goes away so fast. Commitments, what they do is they inspire discipline. And I know discipline can sound like a super hard word, but
Mm.
what my favorite definition of discipline is doing that thing that you said that you would do once the motivation you had at the beginning is gone. And so it is, I think,
Mm-hmm.
one of the most profound and genuine ways of showing self-respect. So when you have a really big commitment
Absolutely.
that is meaningful for you, and you say, hey, I commit to this, I commit to this, then
Mm-hmm.
you want to keep going and discipline emerges from that. And so what I would say for 2025 is stop trying to achieve goals and start trying to stay committed. And you will
Right.
see, you will achieve them so much faster. That's at
Yeah.
least my experience.
And, for example, it even comes with content creating. People ask me all the time, like, how did you get to where you got to? And I was like, sometimes it's not even about the quality of the video, it's staying consistent with posting, you know? I was posting 5 times a day, every single day. Were some of those videos absolute naff? Yeah, some of them were absolute garbage. But was consistently posting every single day for like 3 years? Yes. And I think that's what people ask me, like, what's the key to success? Consistency. Consistency
Absolutely.
is key. Just stick with it because it's not always going to be your perfect work all the time. And that's fine. I think as an artist as well, we're such perfectionists. So we're like, oh, it needs to be perfect. It doesn't have to be. Nothing in life is perfect.
I absolutely agree. And when you're consistent, if we review a little bit of the steps we had, so you have your dream, you have a clear vision for this
Yeah.
year, you chunk that and turn it into a plan. You work on yourself and believing in yourself and truly being nice to yourself and being
Hmm.
very mindful of the words you say to yourself and projecting yourself into the future. And then when you want to, then you take action, you take consistent action. And step number 5, it has a lot to do with what you were saying now. It is about persevering. And I
Hmm.
think that our ancestors had this so clear. They lived by it, they worked by it. But now, we have come to believe, maybe because of social media and everybody flashing all their, they, as you said, their highlight reels,
Yeah.
as if it were the entire life. And we all know it's not true. But because we
No.
see that, we are, I think, tricked into believing that everything that is not an overnight success is a failure. What would have happened to you, Chiara, if after the third post you made or the 5 weeks of posting, you didn't see immediate traction? What would have
Well,
happened?
this is the thing, there are times where I don't want to post because, for
Right.
example, some of my previous videos didn't do well or they didn't get that many views. And that's so demotivating because you're like, it's not working. Like, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I don't want to do this anymore. But my mom's like such a big part of my life. And I'm so grateful for her. She would constantly say to me, just keep going, keep posting. And I would get hate online. And there was a few times I got like nearly cancelled for silly things, which just don't mean anything. Really, it's got nothing to do with me. But
Mm.
my mom kept saying to me, I would say to my, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, this isn't working. Maybe this isn't working. You know, I don't feel like I want to do this. And my mom's like, keep going, keep posting, just keep going. Don't give up. Don't give up. If this is something that
Hmm.
you really want, no matter the hardship, no matter how difficult, no matter the amount of, you know, criticism you'll get from others, even if you fail, you'll learn so many more things from falling down than you will if you never fell in the first place.
Absolutely agree. First off, you have a great mom. You have an amazing
It's the
mom,
best.
and I think she gave you and she's giving you one of the most important lessons as human beings. You just have to keep going.
Yeah.
Most successful people are so because they kept going. It's
Yeah.
not because they have this like special intelligence or, supernatural talents. They just keep going. And
Mm-hmm.
there's a famous tree that I love to think about when I want to, when I'm ready to quit and I know it's just a matter of time. I think about the Japanese bamboo. The Japanese bamboo is sometimes referred to as the slowest growing tree on the planet because the bamboo grower plants the seed, and for one entire year, he sees nothing, just soil. But he keeps taking care of the seed and he will water it and nurture the land. And then 2 years go by and he sees nothing. 3 years go by, 4 years go by, 5 years go. Can you imagine Chiara taking care of a seed? 5 years, nothing's happening. And you're like, what the
Yeah.
heck is going on? But then 6 years and 7 months into this process, suddenly this plant breaks the surface and it starts growing at a rate of 5 centimeters per hour, 32 meters in 1 month. That means you can sit there and watch it grow. And so
Yeah.
the question is, what was happening in those 6 years and 7 months that apparently nothing was happening? What was growing beneath the surface? The roots, right? The roots.
Yeah.
And so my message for anyone who's listening to this and is thinking, you know what, I am already putting consistent action. I have my plan. I'm staying consistent. I'm persevering. Nothing's happening. Stay there. Stay there, because even the failures, the so-called failures or mistakes, they are all your roots. They're building your foundation so that one
Yeah.
day when your time comes to explode in success or in happiness or whatever you want for your life, just know that the process of getting there, if you don't get super scared or stressed when you make mistakes, because you will make mistakes and you
Yeah.
will possibly even fail, if you like to call it that way. I don't like to call it failure. I like to call it, learning
Yeah.
experiences.
I like to
The
call
way
it, like, definitely. I actually like to call it a gift, if anything. My life coach told me, with all the, I've failed a lot. Things have happened. I've made mistakes even. Everyone makes mistakes in life and no one is perfect. But, my life coach said, this failure or this mistake that you made is the biggest gift, because you're going to learn so much from that, which you're going to take into your life, and you're not going to make that mistake again if you really, really learn from it.
Absolutely. The thing is that we were taught ever since we go to school that mistakes are wrong. And so they will point
Yes.
them out in red and they will lower your grade because you made a mistake. But then in life, mistakes and failures are stepping stones to success. There's
Yeah.
no way you can get to the other side unless you make mistakes. And
Mm-hmm.
so if we change our approach to them and when we go like, oh, interesting, I
Yeah.
made a mistake. What did I
Yeah.
learn? What can I learn from that? It changes everything.
Yeah, 100%. We also wanted to mention that if you are someone that maybe, you're tired of working for someone else and you don't want to have a boss over you and you don't want to be told what to do. And for example, you want to work for yourself, but you're scared on, how do I work for myself? How do I become my own boss? I am my own boss. You are your own boss, Florencia. Like,
Yeah.
we managed in the patriarchy that we live in to become our own bosses. And if it's possible for us, if it's possible for me, if it's possible for you, it's possible for everyone. And Florencia, you have this course on creating your own online course on whatever talent you have, whatever skill you have, because everyone has a skill, everyone has a talent. It's just honing into that and knowing, how can I be of service to other people, and almost having a purpose with that skill to maybe help others. And if you want to talk about this course that you have.
So the reason I founded Easy Launch Academy, that's how we call it, Easy Launch Academy, is because I found that so many people just like me, people who maybe work as coaches or therapists or in a one-on-one basis, or they have a talent. They know how to do makeup. They know how to make their baby sleep through the night. They know how to cook fabulous meals on a budget. Well, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe they have a skill from their profession. Maybe they're a doctor or a lawyer or something like that. And they want to stop trading their time for money. And one of their biggest dreams, and that's why I think it fits with what we're talking today, is to have their dream business, which is, how can I use what I already know, my natural talents, and serve the world on a global scale and make a lot of money while I am being useful to the rest. And so what I teach
Yeah.
them is how to go from having what idea, what course could I build? Because you only need to build one online course teaching what you
Mm-hmm.
know, and then you launch it and you scale it. And yeah, I'm super happy. We have students from over 50 countries right now and from all the professions you can think of.
Mm-hmm.
And it truly is such a joy to see people saying things like, I never thought I could lead this dream life where I work in pajamas, I work from my
Mm-hmm.
bed, or, while taking care of my newborn, and I still get to impact the world and I still get to receive a financial reward for my efforts. And so it's
Yeah.
a lot of fun.
And I think also, especially in 2025, if this is something that you've been thinking about for a while and you're like, I'm sick of working a 9 to 5, I'm sick of being, told what to do, I'm sick of not being paid enough for what I offer and for what I give back. Maybe this could be your moment this year to focus on, how do I want to bring the power back into myself? How do I want to, again, be of service to others. What is my purpose? I mean, my purpose, for example, I want to help other women love themselves. You know, your purpose, Florencia, is to help people achieve their dreams and make money out of their own skills and talents. Like everyone has their purpose. And when you do what you love and you do your purpose, oh my God, that dream happens so much quicker as well because you're passionate about it. So,
Absolutely. When you're passionate about something, it truly lights you up to the point where you fall in love with a dream. Maybe you're not in love with everything you have to do on a daily basis, because I
yeah.
do absolutely love Easy Launch Academy and every student in there. And yeah, I mean, maybe I don't love every single thing I have to do every day, but there is this like higher love that moves you
Yeah.
because you're working with your natural talents and you know you're being of service. And so if
Mm.
anybody listening now is thinking, oh, maybe I could try that out, but I have no clue where to start. I have a free masterclass.
We'll link it. If you go to the description box, it will be linked in the description box.
Free masterclass where I teach you the steps to make an extra 10K per month and to really do it by using what you already know from your hobbies, from your passions, or from your profession. And people who watch it say they get a lot of value. So hopefully it will inspire ideas, maybe new ideas for your
Mm-hmm.
2025.
And then there's also the
Easy Launch Academy. Yes, we
Easy
have.
Launch Academy. And then we
Yeah.
have Easy Launch Academy if you want to start your own course,
Yeah. If you want
which
to go
is,
deeper, there's an 8-week program where I teach everything from what could I do to actually launching and scaling.
yeah. If you are feeling inspired right now, I hope you are because I am. I'm so excited for 2025 and I'm so excited, you know, if you have any feedback, if you have any, you know, any comments of how this episode resonated with you, please share it on your Instagram story, share the love, please tag us. And if you want to follow Florencia, it's Florencia Andres on Instagram. And do
Yes.
you have YouTube or mainly
Yes, I do.
Instagram?
No, my main channel is YouTube, so you can also find me with my name, Florencia Andres on YouTube, and we have a special Instagram for Easy Launch Academy. That's most for people who are already ready for online business, and if not, my personal, which is Florencia Andres. I would like to end on, first off, thank you so much, Chiara. This has been such a
Oh,
wonderful conversation. I feel like we've been friends. It's like chatting.
yeah.
And it was so easygoing. I'm just having
Yeah.
coffee with you on my kitchen table. That's how you made me feel.
Oh,
So thank you so much for this. You're fabulous. You have an amazing energy. I'm sure
oh.
your listeners and your followers can feel that. And I truly wish that your mission with helping women restore their self-esteem, their self-respect, their self-love expands on a massive scale, because I think it is so,
Obsessed.
so needed. And for
Thank you.
everyone listening today, if anything clicked today, if any idea you were like, oh, that's me, I want that for me, or maybe I should stop doing this other thing, take action. Take
Yeah.
action. Information does not create transformation. We can sit here and we can talk for hours, or we can listen to podcasts, or we can read a ton of books, and that's great. But if you really want 2025 to be different, it's the moment to take action. And you don't need to feel ready to take action. You don't need to feel confident. Guess what? You'll never feel ready. You'll never
Yeah.
100% confident. Just go for it and do it anyway. And those things
Mm.
will come. Confidence will come, and feeling ready will come, and feeling accomplished. So I wish everyone a very blessed 2025, full of dreams to be manifested. If you use anything of what we talked about today, please
Yes.
tag us, let us know, because
Yes.
it's my
Yes.
joy to know.
Happy 2025. Thank you so much, Florencia, for joining.
Thank you, Chiara, and everyone have a wonderful 2025.
Bye.
Maybe I won't.